I'm Rob Mark, and this is On the Mark. Since reality television seems to have worked its way into our national political debate these days, I shouldn't have been too surprised that someone created an unpleasant link between reality TV and the aviation industry. But in this case, it claimed the National Transportation Safety Board, one of the few shining stars in the U.S. government, had knowingly taken part in a reality show. Suddenly, I had visions of Survivor and Real Housewives. Alaska's Senator Lisa Murkowski last month took the NTSB to task over a Smithsonian Channel show called Alaska Air Crash Investigators. The show tells the story of how the board's investigative team determines the probable cause of fatal aviation accidents in Alaska. In a letter to the NTSB chairman, Christopher Hart, the senator accused the board of going Hollywood and sensationalizing the board's investigative work. Murkowski even said her sensibilities were offended and called the NTSB reckless for subjecting Alaskans to potentially negative public opinion. Now, her letter to the NTSB also asked for detailed answers to 19 different questions about the board's involvement with the show. The NTSB and reckless? What I saw when I watched the shows was a superb documentary created with great photography that made me want to go buy a ticket to Anchorage. The show also pointed out the vital role aviation plays in Alaska, where only 20% of the state's accessible by road. That means, as the NTSB spokesman said in the show, airplanes are a way of life for nearly everyone in the state of Alaska. Now, more than once, I heard an investigator mention their personal anguish when interviewing victims' family members and the efforts those investigators take to try to be sensitive to the situation. Now, I realize as an industry guy, I'm probably a little biased, but I was fascinated by how the show explained investigator efforts to piece together what happened in each accident in order to prevent a similar tragedy. Clearly, Senator Murkowski's office must have had a few angry phone calls from the business community who worried the series would, quote, leave a lasting impression in the minds of Alaska's visitors that it's unsafe to participate in activities like flight seeing and fly-in fishing, while nothing of the kind is true. Really? Calling the board reckless because they participated in a documentary explaining the investigative process, it just focuses the light of responsibility in the wrong direction, I think. Might I suggest the senator rewatch episode 2, for instance, when the reason for that accident appears to have been a series of unauthorized engine modifications made by a local Alaskan operator? Then maybe the senator could try convincing the FAA to have a chat with more Alaskan pilots about flying safely. To me, Senator, rather than worrying whether the NTSB wasted taxpayer money or resources on something you seem to think was frivolous, you might want to consider the resources the board personnel are going to waste answering all of those questions of yours about their involvement in the show. From Chicago, I'm Rob Mark.